The McShin Foundation is Virginia's leading peer-to-peer recovery community organization. So if you or a loved one is struggling with addiction, let us get you connected. Build your self-esteem and lead you to a solid foundation in your recovery. Check us out.
Just want to recognize John and Honesty and board members that may be here tonight, and staff members, as well as the residents here at McShin. Marshall, great job. Thank you so much. The numbers were absolutely fantastic. My name is Moses, person in long-term recovery. My last treatment experience was in 1982 in Newport News. Well, actually, I started out here in Cumberland, Virginia, and then on to Newport News, and staying there some 9 months, came back to Richmond. The counselor who prompted me to go to detox said to me that he wanted, if I would ask for treatment, that he would help me get into a 30-day program. He said he was interested in seeing how a middle-class black person would fare in recovery. I had no idea what he was talking about at the time. But when I, after 30 days out in Cumberland and some 9 months down in Newport News, Virginia, and coming back here, I went to a treatment program that I'd been through many times and was excited about what I had. I was clean. I'd never been clean for any length of time before. And I told them, but man, I've got something great. And they told me, said, we'll call you, don't you call us. In other words, they didn't want anything to do with it because it wasn't something that was going on. What I wondered was, where were the people that I used with? Where were they? You know? And that gave me the opportunity, Marshall, to get out there and attempt to carry this message. Now, there were about 7 of us, 7 African Americans in Richmond who went to attended a particular program and were clean. But what I've discovered is that being clean and attempting to get meetings going, to get the population to look a little bit more like me so that I would not continue to identify out, was not as hard a job as I thought it would be. I am grateful for a gentleman by the name of Billy E., who introduced me to the first step back then of Narcotics Anonymous that talked about this condition and the disease as a disease of attitudes, personalities, and a general negative outlook on life that was deep-rooted in fear, insecurity, and low self-esteem. When I first heard that, I thought, my God, that's my story. That's it. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. My mother couldn't either. But she supported me as best she could, running around to all of these programs. One day she said to me, Moses, you can come to my house, our house, and eat and take a bath. Otherwise, you've got to go. I never thought my mother would do that to me. But it was to allow me to experience the consequences that I had to experience so that I could get into recovery. What I found out being a part of recovery is that those attitudes, my personality, and that general negative outlook on life that I had could be managed through working the 12 steps of our program. And I'm so glad that that happened. I have the opportunity to work with loved ones of the participants here at McShin and to introduce them to this, introduce some, reintroduce others to this disease model of recovery so that they can get involved in recovery too. I found out some time ago that to be involved with your families and all of us being in recovery helps. It helps the participant to better work this program. I'm real glad about that, and I'm glad that to see the different successes that we're having. And what I call a success is that parents and loved ones can begin to have a sigh of relief and begin the process of learning how to work with this disease. The disease does not only affect the user, the disease affects the loved ones also in a very dramatic form. So what the program that we have here is Families Anonymous, which is where the family members can go to continue their recovery. On the last week of each month, we have parents and participants together on the third floor to begin to look at communicating again. And it's been just a beautiful experience since I've been a part of that. I'm thinking within this Black History Month that I'm encouraged by something that Martin Luther King said, and that's free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty that I am free at last. And that has happened for me through recovery, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you.